everybody needs it because one, as I said, the circadian rhythm, big meal at the night, we just don't absorbing the nutrition. You don't eat much, go, right? You don't have enough nutrition in the daytime. And number two is our food source is very lacking. You see it, the carrots. If I taste the carrots 25 years ago and the carrots today, the carrots has no more taste. Just a lack of nutrition in the carrots, over farming, erosion, chemical, who knows what, right? Kill the microbiome, the chemicals. The soil has tons of microbiome. That's where the plant come from, right? They synthesize inorganic mineral trace mineral, become organic mineral trace minerals, right? Then they continue to digest called fermentation in our system. So that's how we're absorbing the mineral trace mineral. We just lack of it.
Greetings, hello, good day, wherever you are in this beautiful, colourful world. Thank you for joining Truehope Cast, the official podcast of Truehope Canada. If you're unfamiliar, Truehope Canada is a mind and body-based supplement company that is dedicated first and foremost to promoting brain and body health through non-invasive nutritional means. For more information about us, you can visit truehopecanada.com. If you're new to the podcast, please consider subscribing. Today, we have the pleasure of talking with Rose Devries, who is the owner of Lotus Herbal Health based in Calgary, Alberta. Rose has a background in traditional Chinese medicine and herbal knowledge. Rose loves learning about maintaining whole body, spirit and mind health, but also engaging with preventative strategies. Rose has a passion for working with clients to understand their health concerns, always attempting to locate the root of the issue rather than symptoms alone, while collaborating with clients to achieve empowerment, individualized attention and true wellness. She has over 10 years of experience in the natural health industry here in Canada, combining Western and Chinese knowledge systems to holistically support her clients. Lotus Herbal Health is just one of the amazing retailers across Canada where you can buy Empower Plus, and so many store owners and employees have wonderful experiences and stories to share about their clients who have used Empower Plus to get themselves healthy. So let's get into it. Okay, Rose, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with us. How are you?
Good, Simon. I'm so glad to see you. It's really, really glad to see you.
Yeah, and we've got a really beautiful sunny day. We've had to put the blinds down a little bit because it's so sunny here in Calgary.
Yeah. So, last night it's snowing, and which is like Christmas on the street right now.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
The weather's good, beautiful sunshine. We call sunshine city, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love it if you could tell us a little bit about your journey into being a health store owner and being a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner.
Okay, I was born in China, and my mother's family, they have a traditional as a herbalist and acupuncture, and also, drink the herbs every day. So in a way, as I grew up, I smells herb day and night. I just somewhere I want to get away from it. And I become a dental technologist and making crowns, bridges, implants for a while. But this is kind of draw me in. Finally go back home. I said, okay, so how can I manifest in this culture, right? Bring the Chinese of the root of the belief as a whole food, and based on like the herbs, the whole root. We're using the whole herbs, root and the leaves and stems and flowers, using different season, we're using for different purpose. And the whole plants, they have a personality. And the flower and leaves and root have all completely different personality.
Yes, that's really amazing about plants is that you can use different parts of the plants and prepare them in different ways.
Yeah.
And they'll have different, somewhat magical components to them to use for many different health purposes.
Yeah, let's say you come to me and Terry come to me, and the two people has the same symptoms, but we treat it differently according to your personality, according to your yin and yang type, even according to the season. So it's very, very tricky and very mysterious. I brought it to this culture, and I see in this culture, they're using extractions. That's why away from the extractions, my store is based on the whole food and fermented whole food. And even they concentrate with the whole food and the fermented food. When the first encounter for your EMP, it is extractions and it is concentrations. And I didn't really know how to use it, but I attended several seminars from you and really, really inspired me and put a tear in my eyes. So I beginning to try it. Said, that's so different as the Chinese way, right? Chinese, we never put the things in the capsules. We taste it, we smell it. That's the first healing part. But the EMP, okay, let's try. So I'm going to have an amazing story to tell you. A young boy, I call young boy, is in his early 20s. Mother brought him to see me. And his brother, older brother, diagnosed with schizophrenia. Oh my gosh, the family has 2 schizophrenia boys. And I have a boy on my own. When I talk it like this, it tears in my eyes. I'm not trying to be too emotional because how much the mother and father love their own children. I understand that. But I also understand the mother brought the child to me. I know they're very, very sensitive. In my life, I'm dealing with ADD, ADHD, bipolar disease, schizophrenia people around me here and there. I know how difficult to even have eye contact. How can I talk to the boy? So I didn't see him that time. I prepared myself. I said, I need to see him eye to eye. So when I saw him, I knew those people, they don't touch herbs. They don't touch pills, especially pills. They said, no, I don't need to be fixed. I'm perfect on my own. And they are amazing truthful. You can lie to them. Every words come out from their mouth. It's truthful. So you can't hide anything from the juice. I said, okay, I'm going to serve this boy EMP, but I can't. He just won't take. I know that.
Sure. How old was this boy?
24 years old.
So he was 24 when he came to see you?
When he came just a couple of months ago.
Okay.
A few months ago.
And his elder brother also has schizophrenia?
Very serious schizophrenia.
And how old is he?
I think it's 26,
okay.
28,
so there's
something
like a
that.
4 to 6 year
Difference, yeah.
Okay, and the parents or the mother who came in with this son, had they done anything in regards to looking at Chinese medicine with their eldest son before?
No, they straight go to the medication, heavy duty medication. And I knew if I gave him an EMP, 1, he won't take it, right? And 2, it's being too long and he needs some like really professional help. Maybe I can guide him to see you, but he didn't even want to come. So it gave me no chance at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the mother who brought the younger son to come and see you,
yeah.
What was different about this time? Because with the elder son, they went straight to conventional medicine and pharmaceuticals.
Thank you for asking
yeah,
that.
So why
did not
why different?
work.
Okay.
Did not work. It's so hard, the boy, at home. And it's really dysfunction, and socially. And how about to find a job, have a family? I don't know where the hope is going to come. So this boy I learned he's not on the medication. And I said, okay, let's try. But I can't just give him pills. I prepared like a Shisanja. Shisanja in my culture using for that purpose too. Support the 5 elements. People, if they don't know 5 elements, you can Google it. I'm not going to mention this too long if I talk about the 5 elements.
That's a 7-year doctorate, right?
Yes, yeah. Extremely
very
amazing. Yeah, we treat people with the schizophrenia, with this and that, bipolar disease, or any kind of emotion disease, or sleeping disorder, or just people take it, support the 5 elements, right? And
I just need to ask a question in regards to the background of TCM,
yeah.
and how a Chinese medicine practitioner works with a patient initially very, very differently, because you said that you couldn't just give him the capsules because, in Chinese medicine, you have to take in, as you said before, like the individual, the season, the yin yang, a lot of the personality, so important to assess those things before you jump into a protocol or a treatment program.
Exactly. So they first glance, they call look, right? It's glance your personality. If it's good, truly of a herbalist, oh my God, they glance it, they will know what is your father, what the disease he has, what is your grandfather, what his personality is. That's who you are today. They can penetrate you, right? Me just look on the surface. I've been trained that way. So I can see pretty much a personality, right? And I can glance at them. This boy, it's really analytical, really intellect, really, really smart, extremely smart. And he can associate with his intuition, and also is very intellect.
Would you use tongue and pulse diagnosis as well?
Yes, we do a lot. We also look at the tongue. First, I notice majority people, 80% to 90% of people come to me has a digestion problem. It's not just the digestion problem, not digest your food, it's the absorption problem, because the lack of energy is behind its ATP, is energy, right? So I always focusing on that. So I put this boy on the certain kind of it's not enzymes. Enzymes is like a Band-Aid solution. Everybody's on it, like, oh, you're old, you need enzymes. But the enzymes just the Band-Aid solution. But what is the cost enzyme deficiency? It's your ATP, it's your energy. So I'm focusing on that. Luckily, I have this German product. It's called Regular Pro, and they serve in the hospital, saving people's life. That's how they prescription, right? That's how I learned. They're using for all kinds of disease, like cancer, H1N1, and Lyme disease, and on the list.
And
right?
sorry, what exactly is this product?
It is called Cascade Fermented 9 food, not even herbs, like walnuts, dates, and artichokes, and celeries.
So it's a whole food supplement.
They ferment it, called cascade fermentation, fermented 6 times, turn into the liquid. There's no probiotic left. According to my research, according to those doctors' research, they're saying we need over 10,000 kinds of microbiome strains. I'm talking about the strains, not how much potent it is. But the problem in the society is to give people probiotics in the refrigerator, in the capsule, in the isolation. And so 6 strains, 10 strains, 100 strains, and give them trillions of it. You know how much we have? This microbiome in our system? Over 10,000, they can name it. They constantly comes airborne, and the different country, different culture, different microbiome, they can't count anymore. So we need to support all, synchronize them all.
So yeah, you're talking about like creating a diverse microbial species inside of your microbiome, which is 3 to 4 pounds of your weight in microorganisms, which is significantly powerful.
Yeah.
And if we're just going to a health food store and we're buying 6 billion international units of trillions of just like one, it's very much a
monocultured, right?
Yeah, it's a like grenade effect. It's like if you were looking at the soil and the microorganisms, and you were just going to replace one mineral or one microbe.
Same thing.
Exactly.
Diversity. Yeah. So that's why they more and more scientifically prove the diversity of a microbiome is the key. It's for our health. So this is a Regular Pro, which is amazing. They support all synchronize them, support them, right? So microbiome, as I research, they only stay in your system short period of time. They done their job. They send a chemical compound, communicate with other microbiome, then they leave the body. The job well done, they leave. They left the residue. It's called postbiotics. They made it from prebiotics. So in your system, continue to manifest in your body. So that's why the German, it's amazing. So is Denmark.
That's really
and
cool.
So is we have a Vita Biosa doing the same thing.
For people who aren't familiar with prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics, could you give us a little bit of a breakdown or a differentiation between the three?
Prebiotics from vegetables, right? It's fiber. Probiotics existent in the vegetables, right? It has a probiotic in there. So when we consume it, they begin to ferment it. When the byproduct, the end of the product, is they come out with the compound, the chemical compound. We name them. It's called postbiotics. So that is the postbiotic doing the job. In one of the seminar, it's a Vita Biosa seminar, the owner even said it. He said, even they burn the probiotic in the product, gave to them in the brain cancer patients, they have a way more effect than probiotic in it. But if you isolate them, one, they can survive in the stomach acid. Number two, even they manifest in our lower intestine or large intestine. The problem is what happening is they're just too little strings, right? And how about the other 99% microbiome? They will die off. They will get weakened. Actually, it's not really benefit for you.
Yeah, it's interesting in regards to when people get prescribed a probiotic, or they read it in a magazine, or they listen to it on a podcast or something, and then they just go to the store, ask for one, and buy one. Because I in my understanding and training with microorganisms is that, you know, you and I may be 99% genetically identical, but when it comes to the makeup of bacteria that live in our gut, we're 90% completely different. So a probiotic that might work for you could actually cause me harm.
Exactly.
And the other way around, which is really fascinating. So it's so important to, you know, test before you guess. And there's some really amazing companies out there that you can use and work with to figure out like what's kind of going on in regards to what's growing in your gut, what isn't.
Yeah.
And then you can get a little bit more specific with your pre, pro, and postbiotic routine.
Yeah. It's a fecal transplant, you know, according the fecal transplant, it's one of the way. It's a beautiful way to
I'm
do
convinced in 10, 15 years, that's going to be a really common thing that people go in for and have dramatic digestive and mental changes.
Exactly. You know, it's a revolution. That's what I'm talking about in here. So I gave the boy of regular pro, so sour. So back
to the 24-year-old schizophrenia patient. So he'd been diagnosed previously before coming to see you.
He's like full blown. They diagnosed schizophrenia, and he couldn't communicate with people. Right, he fidgeting and spasm and trembling without one word, without move, like very, very jerky, like move his hands and feet and body, right? He can't settle, right? And he very, very hard to talk to him. So how I talk to him, I tell him my own son's story. I have a son in 20s. I love him so much. I have a story about that. So he listened very carefully because those people very, very truthful. Genius. I'm talking about the genius. The world needed those people. Make them back on their feet so can serve us, save us, to can manifest this new world. And we need them. They're so smart. And then he listened. He stopped the trembling. He beginning to eye contact. He beginning to nod his head. He hear the truth. If I don't tell him the truth, he won't trust me anymore.
He knows the truth.
He knows, So the moment I knew it's time to grab the product. It's not trick. It's from my heart. I do want to see the boy back to so-called normal. I want back to his own nature. It's a beautiful nature.
That's a really unique.
Like my son, right? Really I want him to be better. So I grabbed the EMP, and I don't know if he taking it, see if he trusts me. And he said, I trust you. I said, thank you. I know from his heart. And I grabbed the regular pro. I said, really, really sour. Can you do it for me? Just try, you know. And he did. And he swallowed the pill too.
So right there in the
in my place. And I said, can you take 2 in the morning and 2 lunch and 2 supper? The regular pro just take 2 teaspoons in the morning, empty stomach, 2 teaspoons in the evening. He said yes. He said, am I going to be instant heal? If I lie, if I say yes, exaggerate, he will know.
He'd know.
Yes. I said, you will. I said, this is for sure. You will get better. You will. He said, you can't say, can you? He knew I'm in the truth, right? I can't lie.
Yeah.
Right? I can't exaggerate. So we walk out with those 2 things. What happened? 3 weeks. I forgot about it. I let go, right? I have more people come to me.
Yeah, of course.
I can't do word on the results. I did my 50%. 3 weeks later, mother called me, said, my boys get better. I said, in what way? He said, all way. He eating well. I said, that's it. He has appetite now. I asked mothers, cook, don't eat it in the McDonald's. Not now, right? Don't go to Kentucky Chicken or stuff like that. I said, cook for him. Lots and lots of vegetables, right? So mother said yes, and the 4th week, I received the mother's phone call, said, can you see my boy? I said, yeah, of course, bring him in. He's not just get better, 100% better.
What?
100%.
In 4 weeks?
4 weeks, 6 capsules a day, 4 weeks. Mother come back to get 2 more bottles.
So he was taking 2 capsules 3 times a day
3 times
of
a day.
Empower Plus, and then he was also taking this other supplement as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm, for my surprise, he trusted me, right? He just joking. And he tell my mother what should do, what shouldn't do, right? Give the mothers a little bit, a guidance, right? Yeah. And I said, you have to listen to this boy. You have to. Amazing. Because everything he say is the truth, right? And so that's my story. And I'm further down. The reason I treat him, the beauty of it, I want to bring on the surface. I have a purpose for that, not just for him, for all of us. Once a wise man told me, he said, life don't have to be bitter, don't have to be sour. Our true nature is a sweet and joy. And he also told us, this is talk about the powerful, powerful monk in India. And the power is beyond, I can't describe it. It's very, very concentrated, very, very grounded. And he told me, he said, I can teach none of you the true meditation until you can manage your emotions. Your emotion is not your master. You are the master of your emotions. Then meditation begins. I can teach you, right? I bought the plane tickets, cost me a fortune. I stay in the hotel, get the train tickets. I'm stay there months at a time. He said he can teach us. Put a tear in my eyes. I'm crying.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I wanted this boy to be grounded, to be who he is. Then the journey begins, right? So find who really we are. The joy and the sweet is our nature. So the earth, I understand from the teaching from India, the earth is evolving. So is the humanity is evolving. Look at this, right? The change comes so we can evolve. It's difficult. Who said the change is easy? And then our nerve system beginning to evolve too. But that nerve needs lots and lots of nutrition. It's the nerve support is not easy. The deplete the nerve system is depression, anxieties, ADD, ADHD. Doesn't matter how truthful they are, but they don't have a support. And then I said, you like normal people like us, we deal with the daily function, right? Put the food on the table and put the clothes on our body, right? We can drive to work. That's a daily function. How about we also deal with the deep subconscious level of the emotions? That is from the childhood. Let's say when you're a little child, and that especially the unknown part of a childhood trauma, you're also dealing with that. They constantly surface it up so we can deal with it. And that is the most powerful things because we can see it's a surfaced up. The word is to remind us you have a trauma, deal with it. I can't even deal with the daily function if I lack of nutrition. How can I deal with the childhood trauma? We all have one or the other. How about in the womb, mother suffering, the child suffering, all in the cellular level? We all need the nutrition to support that. And so we can welcome those challenges. So those challenges make us to grow. That's why EMP is based on the minerals, trace minerals. That's number one we need. That's what we made from it. That's ground us. So we can be here and now. So when you intensely be here now, as the monk said, time, space, and distance is illusion. So how we can even understand, only understand when you're grounded. So that the true nature is beginning to surface. So we can experience that pure joy.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. So this boy came back to see you for session 2 after 6 weeks.
Yeah.
How's that gone now? Like, what's the story?
So
story
mother brought him in again, and he's just normal boy. It's just like we're teasing each other, just like normal people. Like you and me, I don't see the difference, right? That's how beautiful it is. But again, we all have a trauma. Can he stop the EMP? I don't think right now he should continue. Like I am, I need the EMP. I'm beginning to see the beneficial of the EMP. And am I taking every day? Pretty much every day, but sometimes I take a little break. Everybody need a break. If I have I'm very careful about the circadian rhythm eating, right? We have lots of enzymes in the morning, so they digest the carbs and sugars, right? When the sun going down and the amylase beginning to diminish, that digest the sugar and the carbs. In the morning, if you want to eat a piece of chocolate till lunchtime, it's fine. Like a cookie and cake's fine. But when the sun going down, like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, should stop eating that because they can't digest it, turn into like congestion in the liver, turn to fat.
And we have a significant higher digestive power in the morning as the sun comes up.
Yeah.
And we do have these salivary enzymes being produced that are going to do the majority of carbohydrate breakdown.
Yeah.
And is that a Chinese medicine? I don't want to call it a theory because it's not a theory, but like the idea that, as the sun comes up, our digestion increases. And then during the evening, because most of Western culture, we have our largest meal an hour before we go to bed, where one, we're not going to digest it. And two, food and nutrition is energy. And the last time we need a big plate of energy is an hour before we go to sleep.
Yeah, where they go, they turn into the inflammation in the body. You eat the poison in your body. That's why you sleep. Either you can't wake up, like a brain fog when you wake up, you don't have energy, and 3 o'clock a crash, right? It's all come with it's the circadian rhythm eating. That's who we are. We are the food, right? That's made from us. If we are not food, the food turn to the poison at the evening. They literally turn to the poison. Why are we doing that? Right?
How did Truehope and Empower Plus come into your life? When did you first hear about it and start using it?
I was working in the other the health food store, and Tony gave us a PowerPoint, and that first encounter said, "Oh, really? I'm going to try it. It's extractions, it's concentration. So now they nanolyze it, and you take less, right? Like this morning, I take only 2. That would be just enough to sustain me for the whole day. So I'd be grounded. I would be clear-minded. I can make my decisions, right? So that as grounding means when you make decisions, you don't blame on others. You blame on others. You put the responsibility on others. You're just repeating what you do. That make a mistake. Who suffers? I am. So I really, really appreciate the EMP will be able to manifest. We're here now. We need that. It's a beautiful mineral, trace minerals. Yeah.
Is it a popular product in the store?
Very. Recommend pretty much everybody. The more I'm taking, the more I'm just like I can't stop to talk about it.
Is there a reason that you recommend it for kind of everybody?
Everybody needs it because one, as I said, the circadian rhythm, big meal at the night. We just don't absorbing the nutrition. You don't eat much, go, right? You don't have enough nutrition in the daytime. And number 2 is our food source. It's very lacking. You see it, the carrots. If I taste the carrots 25 years ago and the carrots today, the carrots has no more taste. Just a lack of nutrition in the carrots, over farming, erosion, chemical, who knows what, right? Kill the microbiome, the chemicals. The soil has tons of microbiome. That's where the plant come from, right? They synthesize inorganic minerals, trace minerals, become organic mineral, trace minerals, right? Then they continue to digest, called fermentation in our system. So that's how we're absorbing the mineral, trace minerals. We just lack of it.
Yeah, and it's so important that we're giving our body a consistent, well-balanced, bioavailable micronutrient supplement like Empower Plus, because all those ingredients are going to be able to feed our microbiome and keep them energized in a way that we're creating that diversity, because all these different bacteria have many different jobs, whether that's breaking down food or producing neurotransmitters. Like there's obviously a massive link between our microbiome and our brain health, and our brain health and our microbiome. So it's so important that, as you say, our food source is not what it was. And I would love it if we could just get everything we needed from our food, but that's literally impossible now. So that's a big reason why so many people need to be supplementing correctly and properly, and working with a practitioner to make sure that their dosages is right. And I think it's wonderful that you're able to look at that individual and figure out maybe what other support they might need. Because some people it might be too much for them too soon to jump into it, because it's a really powerful product.
Again, if you can jump it in for like a strength, just take 1 a day, take 2 a day. And I feel like I don't have anybody complaining have a side effect. So far, 0. And hundreds of people every month to see me. So.
And in your Chinese medicine practice, Empower Plus is something that you frequently
frequently use. That's one product. Another one is the microbiome. It's not microbiome, but it's postbiotics, right? From Vita Biosa, from Regular Pro. So those 2 products are using for as enzymes frequently. It's not enzymes, right? Initiate enzymes is like a catalyst of our whole body enzymes. It like wake up our enzymes, right? We need over 10,000 kinds of enzymes a day. So those 2 products are using quite frequently. Yeah,
because a lot of people take digestive enzymes to support their own digestion, but it's a band-aid, right? Because the idea that we're trying to replace our endogenous production of enzymes with something outside of us is kind of absurd to expect it to
and expensive if you're taking really good enzymes, not cheap. I have on the shelf because people eating big meal at night. What are you gonna do, right? This is the only meal I said take 2 really, really expensive enzymes. Make sure at least you digest it, right? Absorption is another issue, but at least you digest it, not cause the stomach acid, reflux, and on and on.
And it can be very helpful for a lot of people, but it should be used in the knowledge that we don't want you to be on that type of enzyme for a long period of time. There's obviously work to do.
That's right. Your body will shut down to produce your own enzyme. Then you learn the dependency, right? So, first of all, every day we make decisions, right? If you don't have that basic of minerals, trace minerals, if you don't ground it yourself, how can you make decisions? You just brain fog, and you have to suffer the consequences. What do you mean? Take responsibility. It's too much for one person. Why not using something? So eat for our life and eat properly. You can be on and on with the EMP, and sometimes you can take off for a little bit,
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, because that takes you have to be conscious and aware of like what's going on for you and your body at that particular time, and being a little bit looking into the future. I know that if I've got a really busy week coming up, I need to make sure that my body's got the nutrients that it needs, because if I'm constantly having to use my body and my mind, I'm using up more and more of my resources. I have to replenish them at some point. But then there are times where I know that it's going to be a little bit calmer for me, where I don't need to take as much. And that's just a really important point of the therapeutic process of being able to be aware of like where you are and what your body needs.
That's the Chinese 5 elements, right? We talk about that's a metal. Metal's communication is electric current in the body. Self-communication, so I can communicate with you. If I can't communicate myself, how can I communicate with even anything?
And all of our cells at every single point in time are communicating with each other, and you go a little bit larger on that. You've got different organs communicating with each other and different systems communicating with each other, and they all need the right nutrition and energy to function at the correct frequency for optimal function.
That's a metal in our body, right? So your left hand does not slap your right hand. It's coexistence, right? Balance, so-called balance. See, it's a balance.
I like that. Are there any particular herbs that you use that complement the use of Empower Plus?
Let's say people walking without like a severe condition, like the boy had, and I will put the Schisandra in there, And the Schisandra is 5 elements. It's a four season of herbs, right? And we always we cook it in China, but in here, it's so fancy. Literally the truck follow the picker. You never see the color. It's just so red, so intense, so much enzymes in there. They freeze dry right away in 10 minutes. China's, we harvested those berries, put it on the sun, and it's oxidized. It's all black, turn to pitch black. Okay. All the enzymes, it's not there that much anymore, right? But so we have beautiful. That's Schisandra. It's my highlight. And the sea buckthorn, right? It's the season, and they test on the rats, the liver season right now, and they test on rats. They literally, the rats has a complete 4 stage of it's called a cirrhosis, liver cirrhosis. There is no cure, right? So they gave them 1 dose, make the significant difference for the rats, for human beings too. And so right now it's liver season. Liver congested a lot because the liver through the winter just wake up. So very, very sensitive, very tender. That's why it's so easily to get allergy in the season. The liver doesn't have a capacity to eliminate them. So I recommend people do a liver gallbladder cleanse. That's like a liver major surgery. So you need to stay home for at least a couple of days, rest, and eat well in those couple of days. 6 days program. I don't drink apple juice, so it's too much sugar. Sugar is congested in the liver. Whereas they have tens of thousands of bile ducts. You congest it with fat. Sugar always turns to the fat if you don't use it the right way. Turn to glucose, right? Insulin, right? The very, very interesting, my research is when the sun going down, our melatonin beginning to rise. But the 10 years, the scientist doesn't understand why type 1, type 2, type 1, type 2 diabetes. The insulin, melatonin receptors always distorted. Said what to do with the type 1, type 2 diabetes. 10 years later, they just discovered the last year when the sun going down, the melatonin rising, the melatonin going to the pancreatic suppressed of insulin secretion. So you don't have insulin at night, or very little. So when you eat the carbs at night, where the sugar go? Right? They float in the bloodstream, the sugar level so high, congesting the liver, turn to the fat. How about the diabetes, obesity?
That's really interesting. Yeah. So what you said there was that at nighttime, as the sun goes down, our melatonin production rises,
rising. Yeah.
And that particularly affects the pancreas and its ability to produce insulin. They suppress
the pancreatic, right? So they don't have insulin in our system, right? Insulin is turn everything into the energy, right? So you don't have it. So where they go, right? It's a human being, there's a pity in here. We need a scientific proof. But that's all in all European culture. So is Chinese culture, right? We just go, all about the goal, tomorrow, how billion we can make, right? How million we can make, right? Yeah. No wonder the family turn to the chaos, right? We don't ground ourselves.
I think that it's super interesting that you were born into this type of medicine, and then you kind of stepped away from it. You went into dental work, and then you came back into Chinese medicine, and you speak about it with such passion and enthusiasm. Yeah. So I'm sure everyone is really thankful that
very, very Chinese as a true herbalist, right? I don't call myself a true herbalist. It's very sensitive what's in your hand, how you feel in your hand. And then you had to take yourself. First, you take yourself. See the larger dose. Everybody reacted differently, but you have just like in the kitchen, you cook your food. You had to taste. If a good restaurant, you had to taste your own food before you serve. You know how much salt. Maybe it's not the depth. Maybe this soy sauce is not what I'm thinking. You had to taste yourself first, so you will be able to, in your heart, in your gut, to recommend people, right? That's how the healing begins, from love.
That's wonderful. I love that. How can people connect with you?
So you can go to Lotus website. It's a Lotus Herbal Health. You just Google that, and it's going to pop up our shop in the Elbow Drive in Calgary. It's 8417 Elbow Drive, Southwest Calgary, Alberta. We have 2 locations, one in the Farmers Market, Calgary Farmers Market, that is on the Blackfoot Trail, and that's the biggest farmers market. We have a little booth in there, and we have the main location is we have a counseling room. People can sit with me for free. We talk about the intermittent fasting, prolonged fasting, circadian rhythm eating, and talk about the herbs. I look at people's tongue, look at people's eyes and hands, And then the last in Chinese herb is ask. Ask not always accurate. So here you go.
Wonderful. Well, that's wonderful. And we'll make sure that all that information is available in the show notes. So if somebody wants to connect with you or visit your store or have a consultation, they can connect with you and do that. But thank you so much for joining us today, Rose. That was very insightful. I learned a lot.
Thank you, Simon. I appreciate you so much for doing this.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for listening, everybody. This is True Hope Podcast, the official podcast of True Hope Canada. We will see you next week.